On the farm and in motherhood, there are always changing seasons and phases, so it's important to find a rhythm to get everything accomplished. I have had a pretty busy and full summer so far, as things on the farm are always a bit busier in the summer months, and this is my first summer doing it with 2 kids. It has taken me a little bit of time to get into the groove of how to go about my day during this season. We have a lot of daily chores to do, and my children are also at that age where they are totally reliant on me. So some days it can feel a bit overwhelming, but I have learned how to change my expectations and how to structure my day with what works best for me in this season. And what this looks like now is doing the summer chores with the baby and a toddler in tow. I have a lot of things throughout the day that keep me busy, but I have also found that allows me to structure my day in a way that feels very fulfilling and meaningful, even though sometimes it can be very chaotic and tough. In the morning, one of the first things that I do is make a list of all the things that I have to get done that day and then prioritize that list. And in this phase with the young baby, I also organize that list by things I can easily do when he's awake and then also things that are easier to do while he's sleeping. And in the morning, he's only good for about an hour or so before he's ready to take that morning nap. So I always try to get up and going and get breakfast served before he's tired again. And that way, when he's ready for a nap, I can get out of the house and do a lot of the chores while he's either taking the nap in my back carrier or in his car seat on the side-by-side. So one of the things that I prioritize as a stay-at-home mom, and that's feeding my family healthy and nutrient-dense food. So I don't overcomplicate these meals, but it is definitely a priority of mine to really focus on healthy eating. I think that's one of the freedoms you have as a stay-at-home mom, is that you get to feed your kids every meal every day. So this morning, our breakfast is wholesome but simple. I always have some milk kefir fermenting, and I always like to make a big smoothie in the morning just so we can have it throughout the day. And then my toddler is in this stage where she's not eating eggs, like just plain eggs, very well, but she loves these waffles made with fresh milled flour. They're easy to make and just much healthier than frozen waffles from the grocery store. Between all the chores on the farm and then also running a direct-to-consumer meat business, there is certainly enough things to do in a day that would be considered a full-time job. But I also am a stay-at-home mom, so I do all this with my kids, and I think that is really important. And the neat thing about the business that I'm in is that I have the freedom and availability to take them along with me. My days look a lot different than they did before I had kids. I'm definitely very business focused and very much enjoy just being busy and having my days packed full. But now that I'm doing all of it with them, I have to definitely slow down and then work with their schedule. So no 2 days on the farm are exactly the same, but each day does follow the same rhythm for the most part. So not every day goes perfectly as planned or smooth, but for the most part, I can usually have a pretty good expectation on how the day is going to go. But I've also found that I don't want to put too much emphasis on that expectation because kids are always changing, and then anything can happen when you have this many animals also. So I definitely just need to be able to go with the flow on days that the plan gets derailed. During the summer months, one of our big focuses on the farm is rotationally grazing our cattle. And this is our 3rd year grazing our cattle this way, so we have a lot better infrastructure on the farm than we did when we first started this system. And this is a pretty easy chore to go out and do. I just literally open up the fence, the cattle come running to the new section of pasture, and then I just check their water and their mineral for the day, and they're usually good on each section of the pasture for about 2 days before they need to get moved again. And just because we've really taken the time and we've really focused on setting our farm up this way, this is another pretty easy job that I can do with the kids. And I think that's one of the things is like, as a farmer and a mother, like your time is pretty limited. So having the infrastructure in place to be able to better our practices has been really important. Me and my dad do a lot of the cattle together, so a lot of days he's here to help me with that, or if we need to do more than just move the cows. But also I just really enjoy going out and doing this job. So it's not that big of a deal for me to run out on the side-by-side with the kids and check cows and move them to a new pasture. So the baby never takes a very long morning nap, but luckily he really enjoys riding in my back carrier while I go about doing the chores. It just really entertains him to just keep moving along and being able to watch everything that I'm doing. And this morning I decided I was going to ride out and check on our cover crop. So we planted sorghum sedan grass for our cattle to graze during these warmer summer months. It's a warm season grass and it does really good this time of year. And actually the next pasture that they're coming to is this one. So I wanted to go ahead while the kids were cooperating today, go out there and check on our fence. And I'm glad I did, because a lot of the fence was knocked down, so that definitely would have been a job I would have had to do tomorrow, but it was kind of a bonus getting it done today. And the toddler enjoyed playing in the creek and the baby enjoyed spending time on my back. It wasn't super hot today, and we were able to get the fence all ready so that moving the cattle tomorrow goes really smooth. During the warmer months, so from about the beginning of May all the way through the end of October, we raise meat chickens on our farm. We raise them on pasture, so that's why we only do it during those warmer months. But this is a chore that I do pretty much every day. We always have a batch of chickens out on pasture. We try to do about 300 of them at a time, and we try to do about 4 to 5 batches a summer, so that way we have enough inventory of chicken to get us through the farmers market months as well as keep our online store stocked. So chicken has been a new addition to our farm. This is our 3rd summer doing it this way. And although I don't love taking care of the chickens, like I love going out and doing cattle work and watching them move to new pasture, the chickens is more of just a daily task that has to get done. But it's not very hard. I mean, it's a good workout. It's, I get a lot of lifting. I have the baby on my back, and it's a great 30 to 45 minutes more that we just get to be outside and enjoy these summer days. So the chickens are pretty easy to take care of. You just have to move them forward to fresh grass every day. And I like to top off their feeders and make sure they have plenty of cold water. And the way that we raise them, we're pretty set up, so they're really just a once a day chore. And we make pretty decent money raising these chickens on pasture, so it's just another way that we are working towards our goal of the farm producing a full-time income for our family. So I really have the motivation to keep doing these chores every day with that in mind, and just knowing what they're going to hopefully do for our farm business and our family. So my goal for the morning is to normally get all the chores done that have to be done that day. And then that way I can get back into the house for lunchtime and then get a good afternoon nap. So the baby's finally in the phase of taking pretty decent long naps in the afternoon, and the toddlers still will generally take about a 2-hour nap also. So that's really my time to sit down and focus on some of my computer work and the business side of things. So I try to keep lunch pretty simple. Normally it's just leftovers and some fruit. Then I get the kids down for their naps, and I can just focus on all the things I need to do inside the house at this point. After nap time, we got back out and I was able to knock one more thing off my to-do list for the day, and that is setting up a new pen for our pigs. We raise pigs in the summer month also, and we kind of rotationally graze them down through like wooded pastures or like weedy areas on our farm, and the pigs do a really good job of like rooting up through the weeds. And then last summer we came through in the fall and we planted some rye and stuff where they were, and a lot of that grew back to be pretty nice forage for the cattle, and like just kind of really cleaned up these brushy, woody areas that were just full of weeds. So the pigs are doing a pretty good job on the farm as far as cleaning things up. But the biggest thing with pigs is you have to keep moving them. They root all the time, but if they root one area too much, they could actually damage it and not help it. So I was hoping to get back out there today, which we did, and we got this pen set up for them so that we can move the pigs. And those pigs, we'll have them all summer long, and we'll just kind of keep setting up fences as we go and moving them on to new areas of the farm. And then this fall, we will harvest them for local customers to purchase either half or whole hogs. Finding these rhythms during the different seasons and stages that my kids are in really works for me to approach my days with a little bit more of a plan and to ultimately feel more accomplished at the end of the day. So I really hope you enjoyed following along and seeing what's going on here at the farm during the summertime.